Yeah, exactly. You know, I think of snowfall. Sure, that gets us in the holiday mood. So do Christmas trees. But how do we prevent fires during the holiday season? We've got those details coming up next on BT. Stay with us. Yeah, great idea for this time of year to change your smoke alarm battery. I think that, Gabe, you would give Jody an A+.
Absolutely.
For that one.
And I know she's an expert at putting fires out because she's used an extinguisher in the past. So.
Exactly. Now, we're talking about fire prevention, specifically during the holiday season. Candles, obviously, probably, I'm sure, still one of the #1 causes.
It's a huge problem that we have. And the #1 thing, if you are going to use real candles like we have right here, when you leave the room, or especially when you go to bed at night, blow them out. Very, very smart thing to do.
And we have little Coco here, who's your pet, and that could be a bit of a hazard if they're bumping up against things with candles, right?
Exactly. Fortunately, Coco has no tail, but when you're dealing with larger dogs with big tails, that when they get really happy and they see people, guess what? That's also a disaster for knocking this candle over. If you have a wreath like this, this is a totally flammable wreath. What we've done here is we've actually used these artificial candles in here, which, you know what, from a distance look almost identical. It's a smart thing to do.
And here's the thing, my mother-in-law got me some of those candles, and you can even get them so they have a bit of a vanilla scent, so they're almost exactly that same.
So really, it's a no-brainer.
Exactly. Let's talk about Christmas trees. We've all seen the video of the Christmas tree going up in flames. Are you seeing a lot of Christmas tree fires?
Well, first of all, what we want to tell people is there isn't an epidemic of Christmas fires going on in the Lower Mainland in particular here. But what we do want people to do is be preventative and be smart. Just keep in mind that these type of light bulbs that we used to use, 7 watts, they get really, really hot. This is one of the big problems with Christmas tree fires in the past. These new bulbs that we use nowadays, this whole strand is about the same wattage as the one bulb here. So what we want people to do is A, change their bulbs, make sure they're the LED type bulbs. Secondly, if you have a real tree like this one here, water it regularly, at least once a day. And also, when you go to bed at night, when you leave the room, make sure that just shut the Christmas lights off.
Such great tips from Gabe. We've got more holiday fire prevention tips coming up throughout the morning, Jody and Riaz. But look at Coco. Coco just looks so happy here. We woke Coco up, apparently.
Good morning, Coco.
Exactly. Thanks very much. And we're talking about fire prevention. Gabe, this is a familiar sight this time of year.
It is. It is. It's a time of year where A, we're trying to keep ourselves warm because it's cold out, but B, we're also starting to plug a lot more things into the wall.
So are these ones okay?
Well, you know what? I'm not a fan of those. They're okay if you're running really, really low wattage light bulbs on them, LED type Christmas lights, but really I'm not a fan of them. If you're going to have to use multiple plugs into a receptacle like that, get a good power bar. One of these power bars is a lifesaver. It's got a surge protector on it. It'll kick off if there's way too much power going through. Remember that heat is power, electricity is heat rather, and that when it's going through here, the more heat that goes through this wire, the more chance there is of this not working. So make sure you get a good one of these things that's CSA or UL approved.
So what are we looking for? What's the actual logo that we're looking for?
Well, on every single appliance that you buy, you want to make sure there's a CSA or UL approved. Now this is hard to see, so what I've done is I've actually got a big, huge picture of one here so that people can look for it. This is what we're looking for whenever we buy any appliance that has electricity going through it.
And then, of course, the amount of electricity that's going through. You've got something that, again, is a familiar sight, especially in apartments where it's a chilly time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is a very, very common appliance in our homes right now. We want to keep warm, depending on what kind of home you have. What we encourage people to understand, first of all, is that these do create a lot of heat. They do draw a lot of power. So first of all, if you're going to plug it in, we don't want you to plug it into one of these. We want this to go right into the wall. Secondly, if you're going to use one of these, make sure it's a good 3 feet away from anything in the area. A good 3 feet away. Now, they should have devices on them that if they tip over for whatever reason, or if they overheat, they shut off automatically. But that's not a guarantee.
And of course, we're still looking for that CSA approved, which is just right down here. And you had a great gift idea for people just as we wrap this segment here, Gabe.
That's right. You know what? Maybe our grandmothers, maybe our moms, maybe our nephews or nieces, whomever, may have one of these that's really, really old that they picked up at a garage sale. You know what? The newer, the better. These are appliances that we want to make sure that they are safe, that they're up to code. Great gift idea.
Great gift idea. Keep your friends and family warm and safe this holiday season. We've got more fire prevention tips for the holidays coming up later, Michelle.
All right, sounds good. And might I say, nice pedicure, Don Chubet. Those toes are looking very nice.
Thanks very much, guys. And, here's a question for our viewers as we take the break to try to answer. When you go to bed at night, should you keep your door open or should you close it? We'll have that answer. Plus, we are talking about holiday safety, fire prevention. We're talking smoke alarms coming up next on BT. Stay with us. Without you. So before the break, we asked, when you go to bed at night for your bedroom, do you keep the doors open or closed?
Well, remember this, it's usually the smoke that kills somebody in the middle of the night, not the flames. So the smoke will get you long before the flames ever do. So the answer is?
Close the door.
Close the
Because most
door.
people would think that you can exit easier if everything's open.
That's right, but if for whatever reason this device that I have in my hand that's up on the ceiling doesn't work, with the door being closed, what it does is it prevents all that smoke from going in and hurting you or killing you while you're dead asleep.
Okay, there you go. Very important answer. Let's talk about the smoke alarm. First of all, a lot of people say fire alarm. It's actually a smoke alarm.
It's a smoke alarm, and you know what? This is the most important safety feature device you can have in your home. I recommend, if you have a hardwired one, and I hope most people do in your homes, that you get one with a battery backup in it. The reason is that if the power goes out and you don't have a battery in your smoke alarm, guess what? This doesn't work anymore.
It's not going to work at all.
Exactly. So by having the backup battery in it, what it does is, and guess what? When power goes out, what do? We light
Yeah,
candles.
exactly. And you try to stay warm, and then of course there's the fire potential.
Yeah. So by having a battery in it, what it does is ensures A, power, B, if there's no power, that it does work. If not, if you have a regular smoke alarm with no wires in it, make sure that the battery is in it, make sure the battery has been checked at least once a month is what we want people to do.
And of course, Jody was saying that this is the time of year where she checks her smoke alarm.
It's a great idea to check it. Remember, change the battery once a year, but I like people to check their smoke alarm periodically,
Okay.
and once a month's a good idea. And it's real simple. All you do is you just look up the smoke
This is
alarm.
going to be loud, everybody, just so you know at home.
There's a test button on it.
Okay.
And what I do is I also encourage people that have children, when they're testing the smoke alarm, to have the children nearby. The reason being is that we want the children to learn the sound. So guess what? Just a quick little press. That's it.
It works.
We know that it works.
And we know what it sounds like. And again, nothing says I love you like keeping your family safe during the holidays. We've got lots more tips coming up throughout the morning, Jody and Riaz. Exactly. And we're taught, you know, we've gone from the BT kitchen to this kitchen here, perhaps our viewers' kitchen. You're going to be in there a lot this holiday season. Would you know what to do if there was a kitchen fire? And would you know how to use a fire extinguisher? We're going to find out coming up next on BT. Exactly. Fire prevention, especially during the holidays. And we are in the kitchen, and Gabe, this is a big problem for people if you get a fire in a kitchen. It happens often.
It's an epidemic, not just in Vancouver right now, but North America wide.
Okay, so I'm cooking my leftovers, making Christmas dinner.
All right, so we're cooking our leftovers. We've just left the room for a couple of seconds. This is usually what happens, or maybe we've overheated the grease. We've got a small little fire on our pot. What do we do first of all?
Okay, I don't know. What?
Grab your oven mitt. Okay. Always have the lid of the pot right beside. Slide it over top of the pot. Okay. And shut the gas off.
And shut the gas off.
Okay. What we've done is we've smothered the flames. Okay. That's number one thing. And hopefully it's gone out. And we never want to move that pot. Never put it in the sink. And remember, burning oil and water are really, really not good friends.
You're not throwing water on there going, okay, I'm going to put it out.
That's going to cause a huge problem.
So then I would what?
So then after that, you would just leave it.
And get out.
And just get out, let it cool down.
Right.
Watch it.
Yep.
No need to call the fire department.
Perfect.
No damage.
Okay. No harm done.
Okay.
But if it gets to a point
So
where
now
we need to do something bigger.
It's gone to the point where, you know what? I don't want to do that because it's gotten a little bit too big. Now we go to the fire extinguisher. Now we recommend having an ABC type fire extinguisher. ABC is a type of extinguisher that you see in most apartments, in most residential places, and then also in most businesses. And this one is good for almost every single type of fire we'll encounter in our home.
Will it expire? I keep one under my sink.
Do you know what? These are tested once a year if they're in a commercial or a big residential place.
Okay.
But in your home, just take it once in a while and give it a good shake.
Okay, so quickly before we wrap the segment, how do we use this?
Okay, so this one here is a CO2 one. It's strictly for BC.
Okay.
Don't try this at home because this is the type we're only going to use here in the house.
All right.
Pull the pin.
Pull the pin.
Okay, we've got a fire. Aim the nozzle.
Aim the nozzle.
Pass, remember, pull, aim. We're going to squeeze and sweep from side to side.
Just like that.
A little bit more. There you go.
Wow. There you go.
Right.
And then call the fire department.
And then call the fire department because we want to make sure that the fire is actually out. It might have gone up into the hood fan there. We want to make sure it's out.
Excellent. Great tips. Of course, for more on fire prevention, you can go to their website. We're going to take a little break here on BT, but it's all about being safe this holiday season. Thanks very much, Gabe. Stay with us. We'll be right back.